Have you ever gotten that feeling in an old building? That sense that the walls have seen things? That the air is thick with stories you'll never know? I used to dismiss it as just my imagination, but that was before I started working at the Blackwood Building. It's one of those pre-war relics downtown, all gargoyles and faded glamour. Most companies had moved out, but my small marketing firm got a great deal on the 12th floor. From day one, something felt off. Not in a spooky haunted house way, but in a quiet, unsettling way. My coworkers felt it too. We'd joke about the cold spots, the flickering lights, the way you'd sometimes hear a whisper when no one was there. But there was one thing we never joked about: the elevator. There were 2 elevators in the lobby. The one on the right was modern, sleek, and worked perfectly. The one on the left, though, that one was an antique. It was an old cage-style lift with a brass lever and a heavy iron gate. The building manager, a gruff old man named Mr. Abernathy, had a sign taped to it, out of order. He was adamant that no one should ever use it. He'd say the cables were frayed, the mechanism was shot, it was a death trap. We all just accepted it and used the modern one. My first few weeks were normal enough. The usual grind of deadlines and coffee runs. But then a new intern started. His name was Leo. He was young, ambitious, and a little bit of a no. One evening we were working late. Everyone else had gone home, and it was just me and Leo trying to finish a presentation. Around 9 p.m. we decided to call it a night. As we walked to the elevators, Leo pointed at the old one. "You ever wonder what's up with this thing?" he asked, tapping the iron gate. "I bet it's not even broken. Old man Abernathy is probably just too cheap to get it inspected." I shrugged. He said, "It's dangerous." "Leo, let's just take the other one," he smirked. "Where's your sense of adventure? Come on. It'll be like a ride back in time before I could stop him." He depried open the flimsy, out-of-order sign and was fiddling with the gate. To my horror, it creaked open. The inside was dark and smelled of dust and ozone. Leo stepped in and looked back at me with a grin. "See? Perfectly fine. You coming?" A cold dread washed over me. "No way, Leo. Get out of there. That's a terrible idea." He just laughed, pulled the inner gate shut, and grabbed the big brass lever. "All right, suit yourself. See you in the lobby." He pushed the lever down. There was a low groan, a shudder, and the old cage began its slow, creaky descent. I watched through the gate until the top of the elevator car disappeared below the floor. I sighed, shaking my head at his recklessness, and pressed the button for the modern elevator. It arrived in seconds. When the doors opened in the lobby, I expected to see Leo waiting, ready to gloat. But the lobby was empty, completely silent. I waited. 5 minutes passed, then 10. I called his name. No answer. I pulled out my phone and dialed his number. It went straight to voicemail. Maybe he'd just run out to his car. I waited another 15 minutes. Nothing. He was gone. The next morning, Leo was a no-show. Our boss was furious. We called his phone his emergency contacts. Nothing. It was like he had vanished off the face of the earth. I didn't tell anyone about the elevator. Who would believe me? They'd think I was crazy. A missing person report was filed, but Leo was never seen again. Life at the Blackwood Building went on, but the atmosphere grew heavier. The whispers in the halls seemed more frequent, the cold spots colder. I avoided the left side of the lobby like the plague. About a year later, a new security guard started, a cheerful woman named Clara. She was working the night shift. One night, I was again the last one in the office. As I came down to the lobby, I saw Clara staring at the old elevator, a curious look on her face. "Hey," she said as I approached, "management just told me they're finally getting this old piece of junk removed next week. Said they got a few complaints." She winked. "Between you and me, I'm tempted to take it for one last ride before it's gone." My blood ran cold. "Don't," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "Clara, please, just stay away from it. It's not safe." She looked at me, her smile fading. "Whoa, okay, bad experience." I couldn't bring myself to tell her the whole story. I just repeated, "Please, just trust me. Don't go near it." I practically ran out of the building that night, my heart pounding in my chest. The next day, Clara wasn't at her post. The day guard said she'd called in sick, but she never came back. Just like Leo, she had disappeared without a trace. Her car was still in the parking garage. All her belongings were still in her locker. She was just gone. I knew what had happened. I knew she hadn't been able to resist the temptation. She took that elevator, and it took her. I couldn't stay there anymore. I quit my job the next week. I didn't give a 2 weeks' notice. I just packed my desk, walked out, and never looked back. I tried to tell the police my suspicions, but they looked at me like I was a lunatic, an elevator that makes people disappear. Son, have you been under a lot of stress lately? Sometimes, late at night, I drive past the Blackwood building. The lights are off, the windows are dark. It's been abandoned for years now. They say it's scheduled for demolition, but it never seems to happen, and from the street, I can see them. Both elevators, sitting silent in the lobby. One modern, one an ancient iron cage. I often wonder where it goes. It doesn't go down to the lobby. It goes somewhere else. A place where the whispers in the dark aren't just in your head. A place where people like Leo and Clara end up. And the scariest part is, I don't think it's broken at all. I think it works perfectly. It's just not going to any floor you'd find on the building directory. So next time you see an old out-of-order elevator, just walk away, because some doors are meant to stay closed forever. Thanks for watching. If this story gave you the chills, hit that like button and subscribe for more Tales from the Shadows. Stay safe out there.